Alright guys, hey, the Oscar nominations came out today, and, we're gonna kind of go over each category and, pick a winner and discuss, like, hey, why are they nominated? Do I think, they should be nominated? What do I think? Best Cinematography is where we're gonna start, and it's, the first nominee was Carol. They really captured the essence of the 1950s, and I think that's one of the best, the biggest strong points of the film is the cinematography. The Hateful Eight, Tarantino is a great filmmaker, and the cinematography is beautiful. It's wonderful. That 70mm camera they used, the same one that David Lean used when he shot Lawrence of Arabia, he really shows that off like in the first 10 minutes of the movie, and I think he kind of just forgets about it the rest of the time. I think that hurts the movie, and it hurts their chances of winning this award. Mad Max Fury Road is insanity. It's basically what is the cinematic equivalent of insanity, and I really, really think they have a chance to win this award. The Revenant is going to win, and that's Emmanuel Lubezki for the third year in a row. He won 2 years ago for Gravity, when he stuck Sandra Bullock in a soundstage in a box and made it look like she was trapped in space. Last year he won for Birdman, where he made everything look like one giant shot. That was wonderful. And then our last nominee is Roger Deakins, and it's for Sicario, and God, that movie is well shot. Denis Villeneuve, their director, really just let Deakins be creative. There's a particular sequence in a cave when they're going into a tunnel where this movie earned its nomination. But if I have to pick a winner, drumroll please, it's The Revenant. It's The Revenant. Original screenplay, we have Bridge of Spies. Good film, not great. But it's Spielberg. Even Spielberg's worst movies are better than most directors' filmography. So, Ex Machina, Alex Garland. Oh, man, Alex Garland, for a directorial debut, what a film, man. I mean, and we all know that Alex Garland can write. He wrote Sunshine, and he's a great writer. But it's nice to see his screenplay get an Oscar nomination for just such a great movie. Inside Out, getting nominated, an animated film getting nominated for original screenplay is really rare, but I think this is one of those rare cases where I think they got it right. It's a great film. The script is really punchy, really funny. We'll get into Inside Out a little bit more later, because there's a lot more to say about it. Spotlight, quick cuts, really interesting script, a lot to say and a lot of ground to cover, and I think it's going to win the award for original screenplay. But we still have one more nominee, and that's Straight Outta Compton, which is awesome. And man, that script is cool, and man, that movie's awesome, and I just wish it would have gotten more love, because that movie, not because it has African American black people in it, but because it's a great film made by African Americans and black people. It's made by black people, and they deserve if they make good art, they deserve to be awarded for it. And I don't think, we'll get into a little bit more later on in one particular award that I'm very angry about, that there was a snub in, but there needs to be more diversity in these nominees, not at the behest of picking the best performances, but because some of the best performances and some of the best direction and some of the best writing is done by people who are not Anglo-Saxon. Let's fix that, Academy. It's ridiculous. By the way, Spotlight's winning. Adapted screenplay, you have The Big Short, which is the best script of these nominees. Adam McKay and his co-writer, they took the Michael Lewis book and they built this fast-paced, quippy juggernaut of a film that I just enjoyed the hell out of. Brooklyn, really, really good. It's a great love story, and it really makes you feel emotion for the characters. I think that it's well written, and I think it's even better in the performances that we were able to get out of that. So, Nick Hornby, great job. Then there's Carol. Carol is, the dialogue is good. I don't think it's going to win the award, because the main problem with Carol is the pacing of the script. It is really slowly paced. The dialogue is good. The performances are better than the material, though. The Martian, adapted by Drew Goddard. How do you make a guy stuck in space interesting? You make it Matt Damon and you have him reading Drew Goddard's words. I'm really upset that Aaron Sorkin is not nominated here. That is the best script that I had the pleasure of watching this year. And he won the Golden Globes. So I'm a little upset about that. But our last nominee is Room. And Room, which was adapted by the author, I think her name's Emily Donahue? How do you say that? I mean, I don't know. She did a great job of taking her book, turning it into a movie. Larry Abrahamson shot the hell out of that thing, and he's brilliant. We'll go into that later, too. We got a lot of stuff coming up. It's going to be awesome. But if I'm going to pick a winner, I'm going to pick... Oh, that's a good one. This is a good battle, but I'm going to pick The Big Short because it's brilliant. So for visual effects, we have Ex Machina, which I think it deserves it because, I mean, they turned Alicia Vikander, who is a human person, into a robot, and it looks convincing. Anybody who saw that trailer, didn't actually see the movie, can tell you that they thought that woman was a robot. It passed the Turing test. It's brilliant. Mad Max Fury Road, I often say that the best special effects are ones that you can't tell are special effects, and I think Mad Max did a great job of that. To an extent, you cannot tell where the practical effects end and the CGI begins. They really did a great job of masking it. And that's the same for this another nominee, which we're going to go over now, and that's The Revenant. The bear in The Revenant. It's a fake bear. And it looks real. It looks like it's beating the hell out of Leonardo DiCaprio. Sorry, Leo. Next we have The Martian. They stuck Matt Damon in space, which is a soundstage, and made it look like Mars. And it's awesome. It's a brilliant film. And then there's the winner, Star Wars The Force Awakens. There's more CGI in there, and it looks more convincing. The only thing I can see maybe winning instead of Star Wars is Mad Max Fury Road. Because that's an amazing movie. And it might be its de facto best picture, you know? Or they'll get, you know, or they'll give it to something else, because they did that last year with Interstellar, and I was a little upset because I didn't think Interstellar had the best CGI last year. Next up, we have Best Original Score, and with that, we have Bridge of Spies, which I don't think deserves to be on here, frankly. I thought the score was okay, not great. I mean, it's overshadowed by the acting anyways. On the flip side of that, Carol, the script is so slow and the acting so nuanced that the score tends to add some life and vibrancy to the film. Unfortunately, for me, it wasn't enough vibrancy. I still didn't really like it, but it adds enough. Next, The Hateful Eight, Ennio Morricone. The dude has never won an Academy Award, but think for yourself for a moment about the fact that he wrote the score for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and for Once Upon a Time in the West. Think about that. Scripts, those scores are iconic. He wrote them, and he's never won an award. Let's give him one here, because I think it's the best score. Besides the next two, which are also brilliant. Last year, Johan Johansson he won the Globe, but he didn't win the Oscar. He's nominated here again for Sicario, and I think the Sicario script is a lot like the movie. It ebbs and flows with the action, but it doesn't ever anticipate or make the audience anticipate the action, and a good score can do that. A good score can build anticipation without actually giving away anticipation. Do you know what I mean? And then there's Star Wars The Force Awakens and John Williams, and he's brilliant, and let's put another trophy on his mantle because he's the man. So if I'm going to pick a winner, it's going to be Star Wars The Force Awakens and John Williams. Best foreign language film, I'm not going to go too much into because I've only seen one of the movies. I've seen Son of Saul, and it's good, and it might win. It won the Globe. I'm going to pick that one. Original song, I've heard 3 of the 5. I've not heard Manta Ray or Till It Happens to You, but I don't think either one of those is going to win anyways. Simple Song 3, it has a shot. but it's really a two-horse race between The Weeknd and Sam Smith. Earned it from 50 Shades of Grey, which is a horrible movie, but The Weeknd literally earned it. He earned a nomination with the song. Surprised not to see Wiz Khalifa and Charlie Puth here. I thought they had a chance. But hey, that happens. Writing on the Walls is going to win. Sam Smith, get your speech ready. It's not a question. Documentary feature. I've seen two. I've seen the two musical ones. I've seen Amy, and I've seen What Happened to Miss Munn. And Amy's brilliant. So I'm picking Amy. It's easy. Animated feature. I've seen all of these except one. I've seen When Marnie Was There. It's an anime film. It's amazing. It's a really good story about a girl who moves to a new town and discovers a haunted mansion with the ghost of a girl in it. It's really emotional, really well put together. On the opposite side, Shaun the Sheep. No words for it. There's no words in the movie. It's a great film, though. It's so much fun. It's very vibrant. You love the characters in it. Another great showing for Aardman. Great job. Boy in the World have not seen, so I'm not going to say anything about it. For me, though, the two best animated films of this year were Anomalisa and Inside Out, and they're so very different. They both deal with emotion, and they deal with them in a different way, where Anomalisa, the main character, is incapable of forming functioning relationships with other people. He's not good with small talk. He doesn't like to get attached. He sees the bad in people, and the way that they handle it in the movie is amazing. If you see the movie, it's stop motion. It's fantastic. Charlie Kaufman wrote it, and he just does the existential crisis better than anyone. Just look no further than Adaptation or Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. This guy, he either has a lot of issues or he really understands the psyche of loneliness. And then there's Inside Out. Pete Docter and the guys at Pixar just understand how to make an animated feature for the whole family. They're not nominated for Best Original Screenplay. It's a really hard award for an animated feature to get nominated for, but they did. And good job to them. They're going to win Best Animated Feature. I think it should have gotten a Best Picture nomination. It's amazing. It's a fantastic film. Now we're going to move on to Best Director. And this is wide open. Dogfight between three guys you saw coming and two guys that you wouldn't ever have expected if this was 1 year ago. And we're going to start with one of the big surprises, which is Adam McKay for The Big Short. The Big Short is a great movie. It's one that deals with something very relevant and very fresh in our minds. And I think that the way it was directed was really original and fresh. And I think the decisions that McKay made really make that movie just click. It never stops going. And I think a movie about the housing crisis that never stops going could really confuse people. But the way that he deals with it is so, how do I say this, elegant, graceful. He finesses the hell out of this movie, and you love it because of that. Next, you have George Miller, who is in his 70s, almost 80 years old, Australian director. He took Insanity and just straitjacketed it somehow. He created this just maniacal post-apocalyptic world where, we got one-armed ladies, beating the, snot out of war boys. These weird guys who like silver spray paint. It's weird. Mad Max is weird. I love that movie, and George Miller deserves to be here. He might win. He might win. I'll pick a winner in a minute. Alejandro Inarritu with The Revenant. He's here again. He won last year for Birdman. He won the Golden Globe, mainly because the Hollywood Foreign Press loves that guy. He deserves to be here. The Revenant's wonderful. Tom McCarthy for Spotlight. Talk about, reining in a film. You have to take a film with such heavy subject matter and such fast-moving dialogue and so much information, and you have to compute it all into a tangible story, one that makes sense, a narrative that people can follow. Tom McCarthy did that with Spotlight, and he did a wonderful job at it, and I think that's why he right now is the front runner. Then there's Larry Abrahamson for Room, which is nowhere near as bombastic as the other films in terms of scope. But I think that the story, which is lovingly told by Abrahamson, really just moves you. And I think that's one thing that he does well, is he builds emotion so well that you care about the characters. And I said this on Twitter yesterday about when I was talking about him, and I didn't think he was going to get nominated. So I'm happy for him. I'm a little bit mad that Ridley Scott isn't here. I think you could have taken Abrahamson out and put Ridley Scott, because The Martian's a really hard film. But I'm glad he's here. But like I said about Abrahamson, I think he builds his character so well that when the denouement hits, you just care so much more about what's going on with these characters. So kudos to him, and I wish him luck. With Best Supporting Actress, it's we've got Jennifer Jason Leigh for The Hateful Eight, Rooney Mara for Carol, Rachel McAdams for Spotlight, Alicia Vikander for The Danish Girl, and Kate Winslet for Steve Jobs. When you break it down, Jennifer Jason Leigh and Rachel McAdams are not going to win this award, unfortunately, because both of those movies are more ensemble pieces, which is why there's not more nominations in the acting categories for them. Rooney Mara might win, but I don't think she will. I think this is Kate Winslet's award to lose. She's my favorite actress, though, so don't take my word for that. It's very biased. For Best Supporting Actor, we have Christian Bale for The Big Short, Tom Hardy for The Revenant, Mark Ruffalo for Spotlight, Mark Rylance for Bridge of Spies, and Sly Stallone for Creed. We can just knock off the marks right now. Rylance and Ruffalo are not going to win the award. I think they did a similar thing a couple of years ago when Christian Bale was in The Fighter, where he was kind of the lead, but they put him in a supporting. They're doing it here with The Big Short. Unfortunately, nothing's going to stop Sylvester Stallone from winning, not even Tom Hardy. And I'm going to say this because no one else is going to, but I think that Tom Hardy often plays the same character. If you look at, he was in 3 movies this year. He was in The Revenant, he was in Legend, and he was in Mad Max. In Mad Max and The Revenant, there's not a huge difference in his character. And even one of the Cray brothers in Legend is very much just mumbling through the whole thing. And I think that's one of the things he does a lot in his movies, is he just kind of mumbles. And he's a great actor. He's a great actor. No one's going to take it away from him. I saw Locke, and he kept me engaged for an hour and a half while he drove a BMW. So the guy can act. But he plays the same character a lot. But this is Sylvester Stallone's award, so congratulations. For Best Actress, a couple of surprises and one thing I'm going to rant on. First of all, you've got old hat and Cate Blanchett. She might be the best actress working right now. She's fantastic. Saoirse Ronan, congratulations on your second nomination. A lot of people don't know this is her second nomination. She was nominated for Atonement. That was about 10 years ago now. Charlotte Rampling for 45 Years. The only performance of the actor performances that I have not seen yet. Then we have Brie Larson for Room, who I think is amazing. She's one of my favorite actresses working today. I think she's brilliant, and I've seen most of everything she's in, even in smaller roles, like The Spectacular Now or Scott Pilgrim. She really just brings a lot to the role. Or even Don-chan, when she's playing the sister, she's just great with nuance. But the role that really propelled her up into the stratosphere is Short Term 12, which you should see immediately. She's gonna win. She's gonna win. But there's one more nominee that we need to talk about. And here's where I'm gonna go on a rant, and that's Jennifer Lawrence for Joy. Joy is not a good movie. I did not enjoy it. I thought it was very mediocre, and I'm not a huge David O. Russell fan, and this is probably his worst movie. And I'm not counting Accidental Love, even though it's awful. I just don't understand it. Her performance is good. It's not great, though. Get over it. I don't have anything against her personally. I'm sure she's lovely, and I enjoy most of her performances, but this is not an Oscar-nominated performance, Joy. No, and there's no way. But as far as who's winning, it's Brie Larson, so it doesn't matter anyway. Best Actor, you've got Bryan Cranston for Trumbo, Matt Damon for The Martian, Leonardo DiCaprio for The Revenant, Michael Fassbender for Steve Jobs, and Eddie Redmayne for The Danish Girl. Everybody wants Leo to win this thing. We want him to win it so bad that we're not using logic to think if he should win it. Now, granted, he gives one of the most physical performances of 2015. He gave one of the best and most physical performances of last year. But Michael Fassbender did it without any of the bells and whistles. He gave the best performance of the year with just words. Steve Jobs is brilliant. That movie is brilliant. And I think it's a fantastic movie. And I think that Aaron Sorkin's script, in the hands of a lesser actor, isn't nearly as enthralling. And you can look no further to Jesse Eisenberg in The Social Network. That script is friggin' brilliant. But Jesse Eisenberg is not as good an actor as Michael Fassbender, or even Andrew Garfield, who deserved a nomination. And remember how I mentioned Christian Bale? Yeah, that's who should have won Best Supporting Actor that year. Garfield. So as far as my winner, it's Michael Fassbender. But if Leo wins, I won't be mad, because the dude deserves it. But don't give it to him because it's a Lifetime Achievement Award, because it's his 5th nomination. Don't do that. Give it to him because you thought he was better than Michael Fassbender, which he's not. And then, of course, we've got the Big Daddy. Best Picture of the Year. There are 8 nominees. Everybody screams about there should be 10. You can use 10. It's up to 10. It doesn't have to be 10. So for Best Picture, we have The Big Short, Bridge of Spies, Brooklyn, Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, Room, and Spotlight. Now, all of these movies deserve to be here. These are 8 of the best movies of the year. There's no doubt in my mind that these movies deserve to be here. Bridge of Spies maybe not so much, but where's Creed? And to that matter, where's Ryan Coogler for Best Director? Where is Creed for Best Picture? I don't understand it. Last year, Selma was one of the best pictures of the year. Last year, Ava DuVernay directed the shit out of that movie and didn't get anything. It doesn't make sense, Academy. Your affinity for snubbing because Creed could win. Creed is fantastic. Normally when we talk about snub, you want it to be a movie that could actually win the category, but no, that's bullshit. This is ridiculous. But if I have to pick between these 8 movies, The Big Short is brilliant. I think it's better than most people give it credit for. Bridge of Spies is not as good as people give it credit for. Brooklyn is a lovely movie. It's lovely. It's not going to win Best Picture. Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, and Room. And of course Spotlight. Those last 5 are the big ticket ones here. The Martian is good. It's a comedy. Or so says the Golden Globes. But I don't think it's going to win. Mad Max Fury Road is a big-time summer blockbuster, and I hope it wins just to show the Academy that they are actually still alive and they understand modern cinema in any freaking way. It's not going to win. It's going to be The Revenant or Spotlight, and I'm so sad because Room is my favorite movie of 2015. But The Revenant or Spotlight are going to win, and I'm going to pick The Revenant just because they are all over Inarritu's dick. So that's my pick. The Revenant is going to win Best Picture. And another Alejandro Inarritu movie is going to win for the 2nd year in a row. It's funny though, because Spotlight stars Michael Keaton, who was in Birdman. So this year he's going against Inarritu. Good luck to him. So that's it. Those are my picks. What do you think? Who's going to win? Who's not going to win? Who got snubbed? Who should have been here that's not here? Let me know in the comments below. That's what they're there for. If you have anything else to add, just put it in there. I mean, don't forget to like and share this, of course. Give us a thumbs up if you think I was right about something. Yay, thumbs up. Follow us on social media. Name the social media, we're on it. It's at FilmSnobReviews. You know where we're at. There's also a link to our website if you want to see the reviews of any of these movies. I'm going to put the reviews that we did for all 8 Best Pictures in the link below, and also annotate it somewhere right there as I talk about each one. Alright? So, check us out. Read the reviews. Check us out on Letterboxd, because that's a great way to kind of organize the reviews and kind of see what we think about each one. You'll find that link down there also. And for Film Snob Reviews, I'm William, and I guess later.